Well, hello. I bet you thought that you'd seen The Last of Us.
But you thought wrong. Here we are. We're back. And we do apologize for being a little bit MIA. I mean, this time it was like 6 months. So we do.
Yeah, this one was a serious fucking. You thought like that we died and we fell off the face of the earth. And honestly, for a while, we thought so too.
Yeah, we thought that this was the end of Do's and Don'ts, but it's not. We're back. And the only thing we could really blame is the curfew.
100%.
It's really hard because we work full time in the day and then coming home at night, being home for 8 o'clock.
There was no way we had time ever.
No.
We work on the weekend. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
But this time we have figured it out. We know exactly how we're doing this. And you guys better get fucking ready because you're going to get fed up of us. It's going to be Do's and Don'ts, balls deep, intensely.
All day, every day. Let's go.
It's like no one knows what the fuck they're doing anymore.
Let's just give them the do's and don'ts.
So it's not a fucking secret. It's a really long time that I've been single. People know this. Everybody knows this.
So but all in all, nothing has changed from the last time you watched an episode to now.
6 months ago.
Alessia.
Yeah, 6 months ago, we're at the same stage like we are right now. Just single. But I just want to address that I feel like it's not necessarily me the issue. But here's why. Because I sound like a cocky bitch right now.
Okay.
There's so many red flags that I've noticed within men that I think are super subtle, but now that I have this podcast, I pay a bit more attention.
Let's pause. Specifically men, or can girls have these flags that you're going to talk about too?
So girls could definitely have these flags. And I even did an Instagram poll.
Okay.
And there's people that agree with me. Like, I'm really not alone. And I think that that's really fun because, you know, like I felt a bit like a crazy bitch. Like nobody wanted to stay with me in a relationship. Everybody was ready to dip. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like it's totally like, I don't care if we don't mesh, we don't mesh. But I just think I've come to the conclusion it's not me.
Okay, but what are these flags?
Okay. So let's, for example, a big one is when you talk about your ex. I think that's a red flag from the beginning for the sole reason that, like, why are you talking about your ex? Like, this person is like in the past, and if you're trying to build a future with me, nobody wants to hear about your ex.
You know why it sucks if you're in a relationship with somebody and they keep bringing up their ex? Because you as the girlfriend or as the boyfriend constantly feel like you have to compete with what was done before.
Exactly.
And like you're being compared to somebody sucks.
Of course.
Like relationship or not.
100%.
Sucks.
And you know what? I actually also spoke to someone that told me that a big turnoff or like a red flag for them is when they compare themselves to their ex. So let's say like I would be talking to a guy and I'm like, oh my God, but your ex is so pretty and she's so smart and she's amazing and but like, how can I ever compare to her? And he's like, no, like
that's
you have
the
to
number
be
one don't.
Exactly.
Like do not bring up the ex, whether it's your ex or like your partner. Like we just move on from the ex.
Exactly. It's the biggest no. And I think that that's such a red flag. And you have to you're allowed to speak about your ex in the sense where if they did cause you any emotional trauma or something, like maybe you could tell them like, oh no, I really don't like when you do that because my ex used to do that and I get triggered or something like that, you know, like little things here and there, it's fine. But when it becomes a daily conversation or it becomes something that like recurs, I think it's a bit intense.
You know, a lot of girls before getting into a relationship with a guy will look up the ex. So there's nothing really that he could say that I don't already know. Like, she was a blonde. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. It's like, deep down, I know she's like blonde, 5'7". I know where she went to high school. I know what her parents' names are.
Zodiac sign, everything. We know everything about her already.
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right. But I do think that that's a really big red flag. I mean, listen, like, you could talk about your ex, but just not too much.
Yeah.
Just not too much.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest ones. Another one that I got a lot is that if somebody really early on in a relationship tells you I love you, or that they want to have a future with you, or that they want to have kids with you.
For somebody to tell you I want to be with you, whatever, like off the bat, like I get it. Like you could meet someone and within like the first month be like head over heels with them and want these things with them. Yeah. And good for you, because I've been there. But I think the biggest red flag about it is not really like the sense of him owning you or whatever. It's more the fact of, look how quick this happened. And as quick as he fell in here, chances are he could quickly fall out.
Like flip the switch.
Yeah, because if you're that quick in the situation to feel all those emotions, you'll be very quick to fall out of that shit too. Yeah. And it's happened more 100%. Times than not.
Yeah.
Especially totally right. When you're like that, you both have this mentality, and then you start, instead of gradually going through the relationship, you guys just start condensing it all. Yeah. You start moving a bit too quick because like you want to hit that future. Yeah. But you don't give yourself the time to really go through the motion and like take it really step by step.
Oh, you're 100% right. I think
that's the red flag with that.
Yeah, it has a big thing to do with like rushing into a relationship. I think like like nowadays saying I love you is a bit less intense than like I would say back in the day when our parents were dating and stuff. Like nowadays people say I love you pretty quick, but for me that's still a pretty big step in the relationship. So I think like as soon as a guy tells you he loves you, like you're his and he's yours, and it's like you guys are in love.
Well, it's definitely like a groundbreaking moment.
Of course.
Like it's like the make it or break. Like I love you, and just like you guys just took the relationship to a whole new step.
Whole new step. So that's why for me, like when somebody tells me like I love you and it's not even like a month that we're together,
you're reluctant to sing it back?
I would not say it back if I didn't feel it, because I feel like he's just trying to like own me in that sense.
Really?
Yeah. If it's really quick, like don't get me wrong, like if he says like I love you after like a couple of months that like we're together all the time and like he genuinely like, and I feel like he genuinely loves me, like fine. But I think when people say it really quickly right away, like he doesn't actually love you.
You'll know.
Yeah,
when the I love you is for real, or when the I love you is like a spurt in the moment type of thing. Like you will know,
I guess. But then like let's go to the step where they say like, oh, I'm gonna have my kids with you and whatever. Like sometimes I think it's just like they're talking out of their ass so that they reel you in because they want you to stay in that relationship. And I think that that's the red flag, because they're saying these things, sure, but they literally met you a month or two ago. So do you really know if this girl or this guy is gonna be the parent of your child? Like, do you really know if that's what you want? I think it's a bit crazy. I think like it's really fast, and I think you really have to like get to know each other before having any of that conversation. But that's just me because I'm scared of commitment.
No, I do totally get what you're saying.
That's literally because I just think men specifically, women are manipulative as well. We're the best at that, but men specifically are manipulative in the sense where they know that if they say something to a girl, 99% of the time she'll cling on to it and she'll believe that that's going to happen. Whereas when a girl usually says something to a guy, it's because she truly means it. Like, or that's just how my experience.
I do agree that a guy will probably be the one to say I love you and not mean it. Okay? Yeah. This I do agree. But to go to the furthest extent and say, oh, and then he's going to say that like I want you to be the mother of my children. This for me I find is rare. Like, I have not heard of this very commonly.
From the Instagram polls that I got, 3 people had told me, like,
shut the fuck
make
up.
Sure he doesn't say he's going to marry you and have your kids right away.
Shut up.
So I guess it's a thing. Like, men really try to get you into that, like, wifey material, or that, like, they try to get you as, like, their wife by saying these things. But then at the end of the day, like, you have to really look at their actions, because if their actions, if they're treating you like a child, or they're treating you like not like a wife or a girlfriend, then I think it's a bit of a red flag, you know? Swoosh, 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 right there.
Yeah, no, I never even bothered to fucking think of that.
This is why we have our podcast. I feel like we're thriving.
Yeah.
Let me think. Other red flags that I've gotten, I have to say. So, okay, this is a bit more like once you're balls deep in a relationship, Like, okay, so this is like you've passed the red flags. You accepted everybody for who they
You
are.
passed the red flags and you decided to fucking cover your eyes. Like, what color is that? I don't know. Color
green, I think they're green. I'm not sure.
That's me.
This is only really a red flag if the person wants to stay in your life. Okay, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
So a lot of people said if this person leaves you to find themselves or have any type of spiritual growth.
Oh, I love this one. This is my favorite red flag.
I know you do. That's why I laughed. I giggled.
This is my favorite red flag.
Yeah.
So basically that the person wants to stay, but doesn't want to put a label on it, and wants to just like, I need to find myself and grow and just stimulate my mind. This one is a red flag.
Thank you.
It's a red flag, not at the beginning, but definitely if it's been past like that 6-month mark.
Yeah, that's why I said like this is not like you passed the initial red flags. The red flags, they were like orange. It's fine. But then you get here and you're like, am I going to date this guy, or is this guy going to be just like another guy in my life? And then he goes, sorry, I just really have to find myself.
But you know what's fucked up about this one is that it either really is true. Okay, this could be one of two things. He could actually, or she can actually mean this, because if you cannot love yourself properly and you don't know who you are, chances are you'll never be able to be in a successful relationship.
You are 100% right.
Okay, this is like 100%.
Yes.
But then that's like the realism of things.
Yes.
But then there could also be the excuse of that. Like, I have used this and not meant it.
Everybody has used this and
like,
not meant it.
Like, I love you, but I gotta figure out who I am and what I want. Like, this is an excuse that we have all used.
Everybody. And it's one of the best excuses, because what's the other person supposed to say?
You cannot say anything but okay.
They're gonna,
what are you gonna say? No, I don't want you to be happy on your own and find yourself. You're gonna find yourself with me. What you're gonna find is a beating if you don't stay.
But yeah, like, you can't answer that. You have to make the person live their life and be like, okay, sure, like, let me know when you're fixed.
Yeah.
You know? But
it's fucked up if the person says this and then sticks around. Because if you say, I want to find myself, I want to do this, I want to be able to be without you in order to be with you, in a sense, and then they kind of are always up your ass, then no. Then it was bullshit. Fair. It was all cap.
It's all cap. It's just that they don't want the label of the relationship.
Yeah. Or they want to be able to do what they want, and then when you confront them, it's like, well, we're not dating.
Yeah.
Which is that's not even a red flag. That's like red fireworks. Things are on fire. Like, that's a serious one.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really, I think once that happens to you and your significant other believes that they need to find spiritual growth or find themselves in any way, you run. You take a train to wherever the fuck you want to go and you run.
But you have
really
to be smart about it. You have to know, okay, is it for real? Like, is this person being for real? Because there are people that do need that in order to be okay. You know, and you don't want to, like, because then if you stick around with that person and you don't let them do their own thing and find themselves, like, you're gonna create a toxic environment and a toxic relationship.
You're 100% right.
So you have to give it to the person if they actually need this. But it's tricky to figure out if they do or if they don't.
I think the way you can best identify whether they're down to actually, like, find themselves or if they're just saying that to not be in a relationship with you, I think the best way to realize that is if they're trying to implicate themselves in other girls' lives.
Yeah.
So if they're on social media liking other pictures, or even if like you see them like chilling with other women, or you see them, or vice versa, if it's a girl that did it to a guy, if you see the girl chilling with other men, whatever it is, I think that is a really big indication of whether their intentions were pure or not. Because if they are chilling with other women and they are chilling whatever, it's fine. Like, they're technically allowed, but you're not finding yourself. Like, you're not, like, chill with your friend, chill with people that bring significance to your life. Don't start chilling with a bunch of random women, or don't try to like implicate yourself in other women's life that you never knew of beforehand. I think that's like the biggest indication.
There's somebody I know that did this and said this to his girlfriend, and after he did, he was gone off social media. Like he like completely fell off the grid. He was constantly looking for like investments, and he was like there were things that you were able to tell, like, okay, like he was being serious. It's not like you saw him like out at clubs and this and that, like, and even if he was out, he was respectfully out.
Yeah, like he was with his guy friends, he was chill, like he was. I think just the biggest, if that's gonna happen, if someone's gonna leave you and say, I'm leaving you specifically for my own personal growth, then they're going to be growing on their own, like you said, by investing, by
and you
bettering
can even
themselves.
tell, yes, you can even tell by his conversations and like his demeanor, like what it is he's trying to bring into his life, what he's trying to attract. That's what he's giving off.
Good.
So you could tell, you know, like
Exactly.
if chances are, if your guy is telling you this and you see he's still acting like a little fuck boy, then no.
Then it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Then it's the red flag burning in hell with the red flames and everything. Like that's what it is. But I agree with you 100%. If you can actually physically see or even mentally see that he's actually changing himself, then then the breakup was for the good, because people do need to be alone. And like you said in the beginning, you can't love anybody until you love yourself.
No,
And that's
and you,
for sure.
If you go through this at the beginning, probably for the guy or the girl, whoever's going through it, it will be hard.
Yeah.
Like it will feel like a punch in the stomach.
Oh yeah.
But trust me, at the end of this, when you guys get back, you will be thriving.
Hopefully.
Like, you will be thriving.
Hopefully.
Alessia's just a fucking negative. You're like the yin to my yang.
I'm
like
exactly.
me, it's like uplifting you. It's like,
you know what's wrong with me? It's that I think I'm just really, really realistic. And I think Amanda's less realistic, but I think that that's perfect. Like, we really work with each other, because she like aims high as she could possibly aim. And I'm like, I don't aim low. I aim like in the middle. And then we just ground each other in the sense where it's just because, But it's not that I'm not agreeing with you.
It's just
you could thrive after, but there's just
you
certain
tend
things
to
you have
see the, I'm not gonna say the worst in people, but like in a sense, like you won't have your expectations way too high.
No,
on
never,
people.
Never.
You're gonna be like, okay, like
never.
I can't even word it properly.
No, I know exactly what you mean, because I'm always reluctant to like look at the good, because if there's more bad, then I'm like, okay, fuck it.
You're skeptical on a lot of things.
Yeah, because I've been through a lot of shit, I guess. And every time I chill with even a girl, like even if I'm girl on girl, you know me more than anybody. Like, if that person I'm not comfortable with, you'll know right away. I'll tell you right away, because like I'm reluctant, because I get bad energy. I'm like a witch. I feel like we've spoken about this.
Yeah.
I'm like a witch. I feel the person's energy, and if I get bad energy from a person,
you're out here
it's
giving the evil
automatically over.
Are you guys feeling okay?
I feel like you guys should watch it, because I'm actually a witch, but that's fine. Okay, so more red flags, because we got really off topic there.
You know what I find is a serious red flag?
I love when you talk to me about red flags. Go for it.
For me, it's if the person that you're with is not a family person.
Oh my God, I have so many stories about this. That is the biggest red flag.
Especially if you as an individual are big on family.
I totally
To be with
agree.
somebody that doesn't understand that, or maybe didn't grow up in that, that's an issue.
I agree. My ex-boyfriend and my best friend's ex-boyfriend, other than you, love you, they were both super non-family oriented at all. And our families are very close, so we do a lot of things together, and our boyfriends simultaneously would decide, if he's not going, I'm not going, if he's not going, I'm not going. Like, they would never do anything for us or for our family, and that was always such a big problem in our relationship, because he didn't genuinely love my family, who is gonna also be his family. Such a red flag, because they don't care about you. If your family is one of the most important things to you, and you're super family oriented, and you love your family, if he doesn't love your family almost as much as you do, he's not for you.
It's gonna be an issue. Well, if you're in a relationship and you find a way to infiltrate both of the families in the relationship, I mean, it's the best thing for your relationship.
For sure.
Because when you're dating somebody, you're dating the person, you're dating their family, you're dating their friends. Like,
For
you guys
sure.
become a part of your worlds.
My younger brother has the best relationship with my younger brother. He's fucking 19, I think. And he has the best relationship. Our families are significantly close. We love each other so much. And I think that because our families are so close, it just helps their relationship so much. Because
oh, no, 100%.
Yeah, because
the support of your friends and your family is so important in a relationship.
Of course.
And if you don't have it, you will feel it. Like, it will
yeah.
impact the
Yeah.
relationship. And you know what? It'll impact even the way you view the relationship.
Yeah.
Because especially if your parents and if your friends are important to you and it's not jiving, like, you too, you're going to step back and you're going to be like, what do they see that I don't see?
Of
Like, what
course.
am I clouded by?
Of course, family, their opinion is so fucking important, I think. And I think also they're the people that literally grew up with you.
They
So
know
if-
you more than you know yourself.
Exactly. And they know exactly if the person that you're with is bringing out the good in you or in the bad in you, because you don't know if you're being a good person or a bad person. You're just continuing to live your life as you do.
Yeah.
But your friends and your family are the people that genuinely see how you're acting around them. That's literally one of the biggest reasons I broke up with my ex. My mom and my dad were like, you're miserable, you're awful. Every time you leave his house or you come home from chilling with him, you're just pissed. Like, why the fuck are you with him if you're just always mad? So it's like, yeah, like, every time I heard it, every time I thought about it, like, yeah, I wasn't the best person I could be, you know?
Yeah.
So I personally think their opinion is important.
No, it definitely is important. It definitely helps facilitate things in your relationship. It's like
Definitely.
you need it. You need that support. You need people to accept the relationship, because you don't want to feel like, in a sense, I get it, you know, like, it's like you and me versus the world, babe, but at the same time, it's like you and me versus family, you and me versus friends.
When you guys get married,
Like,
let's
who
say,
are you gonna invite?
who you can, like, if your
Nana?
parents are so against you marrying this guy, listen, I doubt that's gonna happen, because usually I don't think I've ever really went to a wedding or encountered somebody that their parents hated the boyfriend or girlfriend so much that they didn't go to the wedding.
There's always
Most of
those
the time,
stories. There's always those stories of, like, the crazy bitch mother-in-law.
yeah,
Those are always a thing.
yeah, they made a movie about it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
for sure. But, like, not to the extent that, like, they wouldn't show up to the wedding. Like,
No.
could you imagine?
No, yeah,
What the
like you-
fuck?
Yeah, like, you really have to hate your son or daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
But I just believe that as long as the family members have, like, a genuine liking for who you're marrying or who you're, like, proceeding in life with, then your life is facilitated.
Very
I think
facilitated.
so easy.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be so easy. So it's just everything going in the future really makes a difference if your family and friends like the person. And I think that that's
Yeah.
so important.
And even him valuing family the way you
Yeah.
you guys just need the same values and
Yeah.
beliefs, I think. Like,
I-
similar. Don't be the exact same
similar.
person, but similar.
I agree.
Is going to make you thrive.
I totally agree.
And you know what else I found was such a red flag? I
Tell me.
remember this perfectly because I was a waitress before, and I remember serving a table, and the man was so rude, not only to me but to anybody else in the restaurant. Like, the second you're rude to, like, I don't know what to call them, like public service employees,
Yeah.
like whether it's a bus driver, a taxi driver, a waitress, like people in retail, like, once you're, like, degrading to them and rude to them, it's like,
You're
for me,
an
it's
ass.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And it just shows your true colors, and it shows so much about you that if I was with a man, I remember once being with a guy that was such a dick to the waitress, you know, like treating her, like snapping his fingers
my
and
God.
shit. Yeah. And I remember literally saying, like, I actually want to go home. And he's like, what? And I'm like, no, like, seriously, like, you could bring me home.
I think I'd rather my boyfriend flirt with the
I'd
waitress than be mean to the waitress.
Yeah.
I would just be so embarrassed if my boyfriend would be so fucking rude to the waitress. I'd rather he flirt.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, I'd rather he be like, wow, you look so fucking beautiful
It would
tonight.
bother me less. It would bother me less if you told a waitress, like, wow, nice tits, than if you were to be a dick to her.
I agree. I would be less embarrassed. I'd be like, you do have nice tits. You know what? I think that's true.
Yeah, let me feel.
Yeah.
Let me feel the tit. Babe, feel her left one. I'll feel the right one.
We'll see. Like, maybe I'll get them the same. You
Yeah.
know? But I do agree. Like, I would be more embarrassed if a guy would be fucking rude to her. Like, you know, I think that just means that you
There's
have
just
this
a
like
certain
alpha
level
masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a...
I would. It's because
You're like
no.
hyper
You want
minded. Yeah.
to know why? You want to know what happens? It's because with the earphones on,
Yeah.
I can't really hear like when we're interrupting each other.
Yeah.
So we're just like talking about two different things at the same time. So you go, and when I see you're not moving your lips anymore, then I'll.
What I was saying is that there's just a certain amount of respect
Yeah.
that I believe an individual should have.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see, like, you could really see it's very evident when it comes to people that work in like the public, work for the public, I guess
Yeah.
you could say.
I think it's just as evident if he doesn't tip.
Oh, fuck. That's a good one.
I think that is a huge red flag, especially
Oh my
like
God.
on the first date. Like, listen, you don't even if on the first date he makes you pay, which he shouldn't, even if he makes you pay, but you see he doesn't leave enough tip or a good tip, I think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You know, it has nothing to do with personality. It hasn't, I don't think.
This became like red flag, and now we're kind of meshing our way to turn offs. Like, we found a way to incorporate this
Yeah,
in
I
the
guess
thing.
turn offs. I guess it's more a turn off because I would not go on a date again with the guy if he didn't leave not even $1.
Yeah.
That would turn me off.
But you know, there's actually firm believers of like, well, this is your job. Like, I don't get tipped when I'm in the office, so why should I tip? I have gotten that as a waitress. I have literally gotten that whole spiel.
I feel like people suck. That's just the definition.
And what do
of
you
it.
say to that? I remember literally looking at the person and being like, what the fuck am I even supposed to reply to this?
The only time I've ever understood why someone didn't tip was because this person was from France or something. And I think when you're in Europe, tip is always included in the price. You never have to like give extra. So they were like, this is the bill, whatever. But like
They just assumed that the tip was in there.
yeah, like my friend knew they were like French from France, so she was like, oh, like I'm not gonna tell them like you owe me more money for tip. Like they assumed the taxes and stuff were the tip. So that's the only excuse that's okay if you're from Europe. Like, I'd show me your passport, because if you're not from Europe, you're paying the fucking tip.
Even if service was shit, okay,
You're paying you're giving minimum tip.
you're giving 15%.
Minimum tip, yeah.
Even if it was shit. Like,
it
you know,
happens. It
you
so
bitch about it when
happens.
you leave. You're like, even if I was pretty crap and I really didn't give you water and you were fucking parched the whole night, I'm sorry. But it's like, you just have to do like le geste, you know?
I think you should 100% tip, and I definitely think that worst case scenario, you just never go back to that specific place.
Just don't go back.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
That's such a red flag. Okay. I feel like every single red flag I've said, my ex-boyfriend has been incorporated, so I feel really bad if he listens to this podcast.
Poor guy.
You were gonna say his name, eh?
Yeah.
You're like, poor guy. But this one is a big one. I think it's a big one because it's not specifically for me. This has been a problem that so many people have come forward about. It's when their significant other is like super controlling on their life, whether it has to do with social media, whether it has to do with them chilling with the other gender,
Controlling in a sense of like, you can't do this, you can't post this.
yeah, essentially, like, or even if they can do it, they need to ask permission of their significant other.
Okay.
So if I wanted to go out for a girls' day, I would be like, oh, babe, is it okay? Not like I'm going out with my girls.
Ooh.
If you have to ask, like, is it okay if I go chill with the girls today?
Definitely say where you're going. Don't
Oh,
just fucking vanish.
oh,
And
I
like,
agree.
is she missing? Do I have to send out like a fucking...
Be like, babe, I'm going out with the girls. It's fine. Like, we're going here, like, wherever we decide to go, but I'm going with the girls. Okay, have a nice day. Bye. You don't have to ask permission.
Yeah.
Nor do you have to feel insecure or feel bad about posting pictures on social media or posting, like, pictures.
The second I invite you somewhere and you hit me with, okay, I'm going to ask my boyfriend, I'm going to need you to look in the mirror and really ask yourself what the fuck you're on.
You lose so many friends because of that, and I think that that's such a red flag, because this person should want you to be with people that you have fun with, people that make you happier. This person shouldn't be keeping you all to yourself, all to
Even
themselves.
the people I find that like will tell their partner what to post, what not to post,
Yeah,
what they're allowed,
that was
like
me.
it's just like what like when did we become so submissive and shit?
That was a big red flag for me, because a lot of the guys that I was seeing, my Instagram is a little risque,
Yeah.
and a lot of the guys that I was seeing didn't like that. But then there's certain guys that love that they're like, yes, you're so confident, you're so like proud of the way you look, like I love that about you. But most men don't.
Most men don't
tell
want
you
other men to know what their girlfriend's behind looks like.
Yeah, since when are we like conservative about it? Say
Yeah.
asshole if you want to say asshole.
Know the anatomy of your asshole.
In and around and about.
Yeah.
No, yeah, listen, I can agree with men in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I could. But at the end of the day, there's only you and your woman, or you and your man, that could get intimate the way you get intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody on Instagram is gonna feel like they can get intimate with me by just looking at my pictures.
But I do
think that's
understand the
crazy.
annoyance. Okay,
The annoyance is-
when the pictures are a bit too much.
You know what's crazy? Listen, I think it's worse when you get into a relationship with a girl that already has this type of like reputation. I don't want to say reputation because whatever, but if the girl already has this type of aesthetic on their Instagram feed, that they're like good with posting themselves and their bodies and pictures that are a bit more PG-13, if you're engaging in a relationship with them after knowing this about them, then you're the issue. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to tell them delete your Instagram pictures if you're engaging in a relationship with them after these Instagram pictures are posted. But if you were like Miss like goody two shoes on Instagram,
And then all of a sudden we see your left nipple,
then
things are like getting
then
a bit
I
out of hand.
understand the point of view of the person that's getting upset, because it changed. Like, you changed and now you have a boyfriend, so who are you showing your fucking tits to? Why are you changing the way your Instagram looks?
Okay, so if you're pulling a full 180, but if you're pulling the full 180,
Yeah,
then yeah, you're the issue.
I think
Like,
so.
why are you doing this now?
Yeah.
But if you're saying if you were consistently like that, then like just
Then deal with it. Like, you can't tell me to change.
because he knew beforehand how you post and how you treat social media.
Well, that's probably the reason he DM'd me. I'm not gonna lie. Most men that DM me through my Instagram pictures are the ones that are like, okay, I think it's enough now. Like,
You know
think
why
should
this
be
is
bit
such a
more
controversial
conservative.
issue? Because this goes one of two ways. This is either someone's gonna see it as, ooh, like body positivity, and she loves who she is, and she loves like how her asshole is just like out and about. And then there's also the guy that's gonna say like, it just shows that you have no like respect for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it'll go one of two ways.
Oh,
Either
yeah.
you really respect yourself, or you post like this because you don't respect yourself, and you know you should try to be more conservative and like leave more like it really depends on the mentality of the person.
I think, yes, it depends the mentality of the person for sure. But like I said, if the person that's posting on social media is doing a full 180, it's definitely them the problem, because they are looking for attention. That's what I think. But if they're,
Or you're looking to piss off your boyfriend, like he did something
Yes.
that night, and you're
Yes.
like, you know what, my
Let me-
left nipple's out today, and fuck him.
Exactly. 100%. But if you were already like that and your feed is going to continue to be like that, he's going to have to continue to not care. He can't just like a year down the line be like, babe, it's over. Like, no more Instagram pictures. I want none on your feed. It's over. So you can't do that.
Well, I have been approached by men saying, like, when we were together, like, I would appreciate it if you tone down the posts you put on Instagram. And I was like, in what sense? And they're like, well, it's like constantly bikini pictures and this and that. Like, I'd appreciate it if you maybe just put on clothes. And I was like, okay. So it's like,
They're not telling you to delete your past, but
they're not telling you to
improve.
delete your past. They're just saying, from this point on, let's have a bit more respect.
which getting
See,
older,
like the way you would take this and the way I would take this are two different ways.
yeah, see, like getting older, maybe I would say like, okay, I'll tone it down because listen, like, let's face it, I'm not gonna become a fucking career Instagram model.
I thought you were gonna say, like, let's face it, I'm not gonna open up an OnlyFans.
Well, listen, I think about that every single day. So if I open up an OnlyFans, I'm gonna put very conservative pictures on my Instagram, and then my fucking asshole is gonna be on OnlyFans, and you're gonna pay me to see it.
Get the fucking guap.
Get my bag. But getting older, I do think that like it makes sense why they wouldn't want, like, let's say they have to go show their mom a picture of you and they're like about to marry you, and the only picture that you have on your Instagram is like of you in a bikini on the fucking ocean getting like hit by a wave. I think the mom's gonna be like, does she have any pictures of her face? I think that like getting older, I've come to realize that yeah, it could be toned down a little bit if you don't believe that you're gonna have an Instagram model career.
Okay.
Because I think it's important, if you're gonna be if you're gonna get sponsored by Instagram and be an Instagram model, which is a job, I think it's very important that your Instagram is consistent and you post what people like to see. And I think that that's important.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. There are a lot of people. We are now in a generation where you can fucking excel on social media.
100%.
If you're consistent, if you're out there, if you are good looking, I'm just gonna say it, you can really be making a lot of money, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Instagram. So if you're the type of person with that type of mentality and your boyfriend is not on that wave, that's going to be an issue. Because if you want to post the way you want to post and you don't give a fuck what anybody else has to say because you're trying to make it, then it's like, keep doing you. But you have to have that mentality. Like, I've only realized now the issues that social media could cause now that I'm in more of like a corporate field and they do background checks on your social media. And sometimes I'm like, fuck, like there's so much I have to delete. Like, let alone the bikini pictures. There's like videos of me fucking chugging like Don Julio down my throat. And I'm like, they cannot see this. I cannot like expose this anymore. And the way I felt about posting maybe, let's say 4 years ago, that I do right now are totally different.
I
totally
totally
different.
agree.
Before, I wouldn't think of, I didn't care what I posted. I didn't care what you saw, because at the end of the day, like, this is what I'm doing. So whether you see it in real life or you see it on my Instagram, I don't really give a fuck. But now, posting something on Instagram and then, you know, going to the office and have people look at me and whatever, it's like, well, fuck.
You see, like, you have very different issues than I do, because even if I'm an esthetician, so even if I would work at a place with estheticians, I don't think it would be that big of an issue, my social media.
No.
I think it's very different when it comes to corporate jobs, for sure.
But like, these things, they do follow you around.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They really do.
You definitely need to think that you are going to get sponsorships, clothes, jewelry, whatever you think is going to happen from your Instagram. You should maintain it if you think good things are going to happen, because it is true, people do get careers from Instagram and they do get full-blown paychecks.
A lot of people that I know now are making money posting on social media.
For sure. I can honestly believe
and
that.
And I'm all about that. If that's what you want, you fucking do it. You chase it.
Yeah.
Like,
and you have to, but that's the thing. You have to post what people want to see. People normally want to see you in a bikini because that's just sexy, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think sex is very in right now, even when it comes to TikToks and stupid shit like that. I think sex as a whole is just, like, even the dances, okay? Like, if you just, like, think about it, all the dances include, like, virtually humping the air, or, like, you, like, licking your hand and, like, pretending that someone's, like, giving you top, you know? Like, it's, sex is in.
Sex is in.
All over social media. That's what people are trying to see. So I do personally think that if that's what you're going for, the whole, like, Instagram model influencer vibe,
because sex does sell, but make sure that if you're in a relationship that your boyfriend understands that this is your mentality, so you fucking love it or you leave it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we got a bit off topic there. But yeah, definitely, you're so right. I totally agree.
It's really like, because
I
I have seen it, like, social media has destroyed couples, which is fucked up, because but seriously, like, it is fucked up.
No, it is.
But it's the
sad.
reality of things.
It's the reality of things.
I don't know if it's the role models that we have. And I'm just going to say it, like the Kardashians and shit. I don't know if it's that or what it is. But we're definitely more comfortable posting very
explicit.
yeah
Yeah.
than before.
Yeah.
Because I remember when Instagram first launched,
Yeah.
I was in high school. The types of pictures that I was posting then and now, maybe my age.
Even the Kardashians, let's say, pictures that they were posting 10 years ago, it wasn't of them in their fucking bathing suits.
It was
and
Kylie with her blue hair.
it was, yeah, like the lips, the face. It was all selfies. It wasn't their
selfies
bodies.
with the duck lips and whatever.
Exactly.
I remember.
Within the last 10 years, the generations have changed so much that sexualizing everybody's body has become so normalized that I think that's when it became a real issue. Like, I've never had that problem with dating men before I turned about 20 years old. I'm
What
22
problem now you're saying of what you posted?
Yeah.
I just burped. We're gonna keep that in the podcast. I don't care. But what I'm saying is admit that the confidence you have in posting that shit now versus had it been X amount of years ago is different.
Oh, different.
You're way more confident now posting these types of pictures because it's more accepted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Even my mom double taps them, you know.
Yeah. And she comments, beautiful heart eyes.
My face isn't even the picture.
Your face is not there. You're bending down, ready to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, you're totally right.
It's fucked up. We got really off topic.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times men are gonna say like, but it's crazy. Like the issue of social media will be so at hand that then when they break up with her, it's like, well, you know, this is another red flag. She was a psycho.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't listening to what I was saying. She wasn't obeying in a sense. My ex is a psycho. You hear a guy say about his ex that she was a psycho or this or that or just like talking bad about her. For me, that's another red flag because it's like if you could talk about a person that you spent like such a big part of your life with and that you loved, then it's like, for me, it's like, how can you do that?
Definitely.
At one point you love this person and now you're telling me that she's a psycho, she's a bitch, she's a this, she's a that.
And then it gets you thinking, like, what happens when we break up? Am I gonna be known as like the next psycho to you? Like, I think you should always have platonically good things to say, even if you don't have good things to say.
When I hear somebody say about their ex like they were a psycho, for me it says more about you than them, because it's like, what the fuck did you do to turn her into a psycho? What did you do? Because girls don't just flip the switch like that, and guys don't either. Unless like from the bad it's like he's actually not okay. Like what's that show with Dan Humphrey? You?
Oh yeah,
you ever watch You? Like that? Okay, if you tell me you dated someone like that and you're like, he was actually a psychopathic stalker, manipulative bastard,
he was a
then
murderer.
I'll be like, yeah. Then I'll say like, yeah, you have the right to call this person a psycho.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I agree, but regardless, I think it comes back to the like talking about your ex red flag. I think it's too much. Like, I don't think you should be speaking about your ex in any way, whether it's good, whether it's bad. I don't think you should use the words, my ex was crazy, my ex was a psycho. I think it just means that you're like caught up in whatever type of relationship you were with them. Like, you're just caught up. Like, oh my God, like my ex used to never make me, like, example. I was going for coffee once with this guy and he paid for the coffee and I was like, wow, and it's coffee.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, and my ex never used to pay for my coffees.
Ooh.
And he goes, why would I care? I'm
ooh,
like, okay.
how fucking salty.
I just stared and I'm like, okay. And he's like, no, like, not to be rude, but like, I don't necessarily care that your ex used to
People
never
really
pay for
don't like
coffee
it.
because is your ex here? I'm paying for your coffee. And I'm like, well, I'm just saying thanks. And he's like, you could have just
because
said
for them
thanks.
it's like, why is that the first thing coming to your mind? Like, why are you already
Exactly.
comparing me to that?
Exactly.
Like, fuck the ex, we're with the next.
Exactly. Wow, should we get that on a shirt?
Rhymer.
Do we get that on a shirt or
And
something?
that's when we fucking just trademark that shit.
TM,
Fuck
the
the
fucking-
ex, we're with the next. No, but I'm a firm believer of that. Like,
Yeah.
just, I don't want to hear it. You don't have to talk about it.
I
Let's just
agree.
move on from it.
I totally agree.
I'm just super glad that we're addressing these things, because now I'm not too sure if this applies to everyone, but I do know that most people with COVID and whatever, and them being lonely and trapped, you know, in their house, like as of 8 p.m., they have allowed certain things to slide
Oh, yeah.
that they would never allow before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too sure if it's COVID that has lowered the standards or what the fuck it is, but like the standards have been lowered.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like people are starting to push away the red flags and be like, oh, it's okay because he's super nice.
Because you're so limited, you're not exposed to more people.
Of course.
That whoever now is entering your life, and whether it's on social media or you met them wherever the fuck, you're allowing things that you would never allow before.
How many times have I like screenshotted a conversation or whatever, sent it to you, and I'm like, oh, look at this guy I'm gonna talk to, and you're like, Alessia,
like, what did he just tell you? Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I know. I think that you're completely right. I think COVID has definitely changed the way that people see, I guess, relationships, because a lot of it is also virtual. Like, for the majority of the time, you have to be texting or calling them because...
And this has now caused men, I'm just going to say it, men that never had a chance with certain girls before, you now do have the chance. Like, they're now
Facts.
men talking to girls that I'm like, how is this happening? Well, I slid into her DMs and she answered me because she was bored. Christian, because she was bored. But when things open up, little Stacy that you're DMing, chances are is gonna completely forget about you.
I agree. There's a very high chance that she's forgetting about
It's
you.
It's just like things are completely out of whack right now.
I agree. And it's very good that we address this, because people can't be making these mistakes, because people can't be experiencing
like,
these red
let's
flags
accept
like we
the
did.
love that we deserve. Let's not
Amanda with the fucking perks of being a wallflower quote. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Oh my god.
Okay, and I think with that,
I think it's a fucking wrap.
yeah, we're back. This was our first episode back. Thank you very much for fucking listening to us.
Do's
Rant.
and don'ts, girls. We're out, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao.
It's like no one knows what the fuck they're doing anymore.
Let's just give them the do's and don'ts.